Welcome to another episode of the Mastered Mindset Podcast, where we bring you free-flowing fire conversations to help you with your personal development journeys. You guys will be expecting a Zarb solo session today because it's a Monday morning over here, but it's not so solo today because I've had a little bit of a calling from the universe to invite one of my amazing, beautiful friends from over in Canada onto the show today. And I felt that we could share some good fire for you guys today. So I'd like to welcome my really good friend and fellow coach from over in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. I've got my friend David Jachetta. David, how are you, brother?
Hey man, I'm so excited to be here, and yeah, I feel called to be on here right now too. So I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, man. Did you feel it when I hit you up? Hey, because I was like,
I did, and I was like, man, I got to get on there sometime because I had you on mine, and our energy is just amazing together. So I'm excited, brother.
Yeah, man, that was a while ago now. So yeah, I've had it in my mind to get you on mine as well, and we shared such good energy that last time, and yeah, man, I thought you could really bring some value to the show today. So, yeah, man, just give my listeners, I guess, just quickly, like what you're doing with yourself now, like where your genre of coaching sort of lies and that sort of thing. And yeah, man, just a quick little couple of minute wrap up of what you're about.
Yeah, so I'm from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, just like you said there. It's the middle of Canada for anyone who doesn't know where that is. Super cold here right now, but we're vibing. I am the founder of the Therapy Effect Wellness and Mindset. So that is my business that I run, where I'm a wellness and mindset coach. And I also do some stuff in the mental health world as well. So running events and things like that. But really coaching for me was my calling, just like yourself. I felt like, I really wanted to help people in the world, and I wanted to do it in a way that I felt called to do. And really, so what I do is I help people build solid routines for themselves that help them, thrive in their lifestyle. I want to find out what works best for somebody in their life, and then really help them to prioritize those things that help them feel at their best each day. And I take the wellness approach because I believe wellness encompasses, all aspects of our life. And so, I'm just trying to help people live a healthier lifestyle and, a more fulfilling lifestyle as well.
Beautifully said, bro. Yeah, man. So that's good, guys. So you get a little bit of a feel of where Dave's coming from this. So we're in the same world. So we're all about sharing that value and helping people wherever we can, and all about just that service to others. So Dave and I actually are part of a group chat ourselves where we have two other coaches involved too. We'll give a shout out to Bryce and Zach. And we actually all met like at the same time. Like, how crazy was it? Our calling all came in like all around the same time. Hey, so we started in Rob Dial's business breakthrough group that we met in the mindset coaching over there. And that was like a 10-week like consistently running course, right? And you can come in and out of that course at any time. And the four of us all kind of came in at that same week, wasn't it?
Same time.
It was awesome, man. That was quite a big group thing. So like for us to stand out like to each other and feel something from each other in that type of like, group space. Exactly. I thought that was beautiful in itself. So, and then for us to come out, I think it was Zach that sort of did the original reach out to us all, wasn't it? And he saw something there. And man, we've been coming up, it would have been 12 months nearly now, would it be close?
Yeah, no, we're coming up on, being together for almost 12 months now, which is crazy because it's just flown by.
Man, honestly, man, I hold you as like one of my best friends now, and it feels weird to say that, and we haven't never met in person before. But it just shows.
I never thought I would be like, I never thought I'd be this invested in talking to people over Zoom and all over the world. And it's just like, if you use technology in, a proper way, if you use it to, connect with people, like, look at these connections that we've built over the last little while. Like just being on this podcast here, I'm so grateful that you and I can, share this experience, because without this technology that we have today, this isn't possible.
Man, it's nuts. Hey, we talk about this a lot, and it's just that's what spins me out. Just you'd never think you could build such solid relationships and friendships, through technology. Like, it's nuts. Like, I'm so grateful for it all the time. We talk about gratitude a lot, and basically our calls we have each week are almost filled with just our gratitude. Hey, we were saying that's nuts, man. So like we start our calls, guys. So like the four of us, we have our scheduled call in every week.
Yeah.
It's like a Tuesday morning for me, and it's a Monday afternoon for you guys, isn't it?
Yeah, Monday afternoon.
We do that every week, and we always kick the call off with three things we're grateful for. And we started that like a few calls in, wasn't it? And then it ended up turning out that like we would do our gratitude, and then each of us would resonate and reflect on what the other person's given gratitude for. And it ended up becoming this big container of shared gratitude. It's just awesome, bro.
It's amazing.
Before we knew it, like it's been an hour, and we're like, holy shit, we're just shared gratitude. But how much value would come out of that? Like, I feel like we found something special there, because like everybody does gratitude, and like we learn gratitudes, sort of at the start of a lot of personal development journeys, and it's kind of call it kind of, I guess, the basic sort of side of personal development, but it's so powerful and so important. I feel like we found a cool little new angle with it, doing it like that. And it just kind of flowed, didn't it? Like by sharing, how another person's gratitude had hit you and how it resonated with you, and then we would share it in the group. That just kind of happened naturally, hey, and it becomes so powerful, because by sharing something, then you get the other perspectives on it.
Exactly.
And then that energy and that vibration, we could notice it lifting in the group. Hey, and it's just this shared like high vibration. It is nuts. And
I love it. And it's too, I think that the reason why that group is so powerful and why we get so much value from it is because there's not 1 ounce of judgment in that group at all. Yeah. And, we really set it off when we first all connected. And we were like, hey, we're doing something here together. Like, we want to have this call each week. And we were just, right away, we went into being vulnerable with each other. We went into just, sharing our experiences in life, how we got to this point. And, for like, I'll speak from my perspective. When I come into those calls, there's nothing in me that's saying, don't act as your true self in those calls. And so we just have taken this, this call, and it's become so beautiful, and it's become, these 4 people coming together from all over the world, and we've really created such a strong bond, such a strong friendship, and we've helped each other in so many ways, especially in what we're grateful for each day as well.
Yeah. Bro, it's nuts, man. And like we said, like we get to the end of our calls, right? And I wanted to.
I'm buzzing after.
Bro, I know. This is what's so cool, because like this is what we try to share with people, right? Like, we're coaches, right? And one thing, and I know you'll resonate with this, right? Because when we started our coaching journeys, we'll probably be in a little bit more structured to following a little bit of a script and stuff, because that's sort of how we were taught, right? And then you sort of find your own feet a little bit. You find your own direction and your own feel and how you connect with people. I'd like to touch a little bit on that side of things, because, stepping into ourselves and putting out there through socials that we're coaches was such a big thing. And it's like, we're learning to be coaches. And then it was like, there was this sort of thing that it was kind of like hard to break through, almost, to just say straight out, we're coaching, you know what I mean? And we're so powerful with that now. And that's what we're trying to show people too, sharing that, ways of finding that inner power in yourself and that confidence and that sort of thing. What I love, right, and this is what I want to try to help, because a lot of people still are unsure about coaching and, and what it even entails and what it's about. People get a bit mixed up if it's like, is it therapy, or is it like this? It's nothing like therapy. That's right. So I wouldn't mind touching a little bit on this, because, we can share some stuff from this, and it'll give, both our listeners and our audiences a bit of a feel, and people who might be out there, knowing that they need something, but just not too sure what it is, and because what I get, I'm sure you get the same thing, right? And which is what I base my coaching and stuff off now, is the sharing of the beautiful energy. Like, I feel blessed that we get to feel like this. I love it so much. And when I have like, enrollment calls with people and that sort of thing before we bring them into our coaching programs, I get so often at the end, they're like I feel like I'm feeling something, like I feel like buzzing or tingly and stuff. I'm like, that's what you're supposed to be feeling. I'm like, that is what you're going to get over here. Like, come into my world. Let me share this with you. Like, I feel like, you're the same. Like, we've been blessed. This is what we share in our own container. And it's what we want to share with other people to uplift them. So I started explaining it to a client, a past client, actually, the other week, right? And I was saying, like, I love looking at it in that vibrational aspect. So you try to explain, because energy, vibration, and like when you feel something from someone and you're having a really good conversation and you're buzzing together, that's your vibration coming together and rising together. It's powerful shit. Hey, like, so that's what I want people to feel. And then I love the fact that I can infect you with that. And then you leave the call, like how we say at the end, and you're like, man, how good was that? And then you go into your day and infect other people. It's like it's like almost as contagious as COVID, but it's the positive COVID. You know what I mean? I just thought of that. You know what I mean? Like,
I love that. I love frequency though. Yeah, I love that you talked about frequency, and I think you'll love this one. My mantra that I've been using lately, I have it on the whiteboard behind me.
Yeah.
It is, what frequency do you need to be at to attract health, wealth, love, growth, and opportunities?
Ooh, I love that.
So for me, I know you're the same in this way too, is we have this energy that we have within us, but sometimes we were maybe giving it out too much, or we weren't protecting it, or we didn't know how to use it properly yet. And then now that we do, energy has become this thing to me, because I keep hearing from people, Dave, I love your energy. I love your energy. I'm like,
me too.
What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Yeah. But now I've dove into that. And like you're saying, when you use it in the right way, you're able to infect people in this positive way. And I'm sure for all the listeners, when you have a conversation with somebody, or even when you listen to this podcast and you get that feeling and you're excited after, you're like, oh, that's great energy right there. But you also feel it in the other way too, when someone's maybe draining that energy. Exactly. So I've really had to understand those two areas for sure.
100%. And that's how you start guiding your life and what you surround yourself with and all that sort of stuff, right? So like I'm so strong, like in my belief that I just won't allow bad energy around me. You know what I mean? Sometimes you can't avoid it to a degree. You might be in a workplace that, you're surrounded by, people that you can't really get away from, but you can allow how much you let in. So like, I believe you have to sometimes work harder for it to block it out a little bit, but it is at the end of the day, your choice, how much you let things affect you. So like being aware of that, but then being aware of how good that positive energy feels, and then to get more of that around you, man, like, why wouldn't you make that your main drive in life?
Right.
Just find more of that, right?
Exactly. I mean? And like, I think too, a lot of people think that, when we talk about being super positive, and you and I, we're very positive people, we're optimistic. And I think that a lot of people think that, there's like false positivity sometimes too, where you're like, how can someone be happy all the time? And it's not that, like, I'll speak for myself. I'm an optimist. I'm buzzing a lot of the time, but there are still things that happen in my life that suck. And I've really kind of had to understand how
now.
Okay, so I have no idea where I cut out, but this is hilarious because we were just talking about false positivity and, how we're both very positive, optimistic people. And sometimes some people think, oh, bad stuff doesn't happen to them maybe. And of course it does. And so Literally what just happened when I was saying that was my power went out and the Wi-Fi cut off and we got kicked off this. And immediately I'm like, fuck, why did that happen? You know, like, of
Bro,
course this happens to me. Of course. Yeah.
It was the universe trying to prove this point. This point.
And it's like, okay, how do you respond to that? Do you react through your emotions, or do you take a second and, you know, gather yourself and maybe look at it from a different perspective? Like, there's bad things or negative things that happen in our day to day. It happens. Sometimes you're going to get a flat tire. Sometimes you're going to spill your coffee on your laptop. You know, there's going to be an interaction with somebody that maybe you just get the wrong feeling from, or anything like that. But you choose how long you stay in that state for afterwards.
Exactly.
And so that really gives you the autonomy back in your life where you get to choose, okay, what are the things that raise my vibration? How do I get back into that positive state? And that was just hilarious. How
let's dive into what, like, as an example, right? So, and because this highlights perfectly how then if you allow something that's come in and shaken up your energy to then affect you, and you carry that in to the rest of your day onwards. Right. Exactly. We're recording a podcast right now. Like, we have a duty to kind of show up like ready to spit fire and value for people here, right? Like I take breaths before these. Like, I know you have a little bit of
I went into my routine before this.
Man, we prepare ourselves for this because, like, we hold ourselves to a standard and we want to deliver at a certain level, right? How easy could we have just gone, man, like, what happened? Like, just lost our shit. Like, we lost full connection. I had to pause recording everything. So guys,
my power was literally out here.
Yeah. So when I post this, they're probably you're gonna hear this, obviously. So we could have let that affect us, and then could have affected the rest of the podcast, and because we had our energy thrown because of what happened. Man, how cool is it? We both instantly thought, how good does it actually relate to what we're talking about? And we chose to have that shift in thinking.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, bro, it's cool, man. Like, it's powerful, bro. Like, it's powerful shit. Like, I'm so big on, like, choosing your thoughts. And, like, I know some things are hard. Like, obviously some things are harder than others to cope with. And some things you do have to feel first before you let it flow. But people let minor things, bro, throw their whole day out. Like, I saw a post once that, like, ages ago, you've probably seen this one. You didn't have a bad day. You had a bad 2 minutes. Like, don't let a 2-minute thing that's happened in your day, someone pissing you off, getting the flat tire, you know, those sorts of things, don't let them play out into the rest of your day then, because talking back to frequencies again, you've lowered your frequency then. Frequencies are attractive. What are you going to attract if you've lowered your frequency and let it sit with you? Hey,
that is powerful.
You know what I mean? So,
and how do you get it back, though, is like the main question, I think, then too. Like, what are the things for you specifically that work? Because, you know, when I talk about finding what works best for you in my coaching, and even just like things I say to friends and family and stuff like that, is it's not a one size fits all approach for everybody. No, like, one thing that works for me, I could go dance around to the DJ Marshmallow and be right back buzzing again. Yeah. But, you know, to some people, they're like, man, I don't like to listen to that guy. I want to listen to Leon Bridges right now, like type deal or something, you know?
No, it's true, but I'm the same though. So, but where I think the power comes down to it is, how much do you value being in a positive state? Because it's so easy. Sometimes, like, I've been there myself, and like I said, we're not, it does get us as well. Like, absolutely. And I sit with it. I used to fight against the resistance of that in the past. I think we've spoke about this before too.
We have, yeah.
When you're not feeling it, accept you're not feeling it. It's sweet. But, like, for me, I value that positive state so much. When I feel myself getting shaken by something, I always ask myself, like, it's a habit I've developed. So it does take practice and acceptance and time to develop these sort of things, but so does everything worth having, right? Basically, I say to myself, is this worth disturbing my peace over? My peace is everything to me. Like, peace, man. Like, I value peace so much, and especially even for the people around me. And when something comes in, I'm like, is this worth disturbing my peace over? Sometimes it's not that simple. Like, no, I don't feel like anything's worth disturbing my peace over. Some things you need to process through, like I said, but sort of, hold yourself to it a little bit and just be aware of how that's affecting everything around you and the people around you, because I've been caught up in this myself in the past where, I'll let something from my day be disturbing me a bit, and then I'll come home and, and I'll affect, my partner or someone with that around me. That's not fair on them, right?
I know all about that.
Yeah,
but
man,
that happens every single day. That happens every single day. Like, people go through their day and then, they bring it home with them or something like that. And you're right. It's kind of like, again, like we were talking about that infectious energy, like it can be a positive way and a negative thing too. And that's right. Yeah, that's powerful, brother.
Well, it comes back to like energy's energy. So like,
exactly,
like it's attracted to it's a like for like thing, right? So like, and when you're aware of that, then that's the first part of it, being aware of that and accepting that if you're feeling low and you're putting out a low frequency, that's what you're going to attract back to you. Nothing at a higher frequency is just going to fall into your lap. Like I'm
curious why you say you value it so much though, because like, I think for the listeners, like, why is that important? Because I know, like, from my perspective, for me, it's like, I've seen what happens when I'm in that state.
Yeah.
The people that come into my life, all of the things that happen in my business, just that peace that I get within me, like, I value it so much because I've seen what can happen there.
Exactly.
And I think some people, maybe they just haven't seen what can happen there yet. So they're thinking, like, why would I make that a priority in my day type deal,
Exactly. Well, I always like to ask people, well, how's it been working for you now, what you're doing? You know what I mean? Like if you find yourself not feeling happy or at peace, like consistently, wouldn't you want to try something to shift that? You know what I mean? So like I said, and I'm exactly like you, I know how powerful it is and I've had a taste of it, and I want more of it around me. Like it feels so good. So like, I just go after it wherever I can. But
I love that.
Yeah. So, but like I said, but that's what we try to help, right? That's where our coaching comes into it, because we try to help people with that. And sometimes it's just about, like you said, just being around it more. So when we're coaching people and then they know they're showing up to our coaching calls and things like that, and they know that's a consistent, positive, environment there, and they're going to get that feeling from that. That's where the gold is, right? So like, that's why I like holding myself there. And that's why I love coaching so much, because I have to hold myself to a standard to deliver for my clients, So it's beautiful, like for us, that we get to do that and we get to share that with people. But that's kind of where it starts. You know what I mean? So starting with a coach or somebody, if you need to seek, that's like anything, right? When you want to learn any type of new skill.
I was just going to say that too. Yeah. I was just going to say, like,
we're on the same frequency.
Hey, we're on the same frequency. Like this was the thing for me though, like before I started going into coaching myself, because you and I have both worked with a few coaches ourselves now.
That's right.
And before I went into that, I had always, like, I'm going to relate this to sports. If I wanted to get better, I was a hockey player growing up. If I wanted to get better at stick handling and skating, I would go to a coach who knew what they were doing in that area.
That's right.
And so the same thing can be said for any other skill that you want to learn. If you want to learn guitar, go learn guitar lessons from somebody who's an expert in the field, or, they know what they're doing. And so when we talk about understanding how to get yourself in, a positive energy state, how to improve your habits and things like that, that's where, people like us come into play, and we want to be in that area. And that's really what we help people with too.
Exactly, man. And this is, I try to explain to people a little bit that, like, sometimes people think that things have to be complicated to have value. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's the simple stuff. Like you said, if you want to learn guitar, you go to a guitar teacher. You know what I mean? Like you want to work on your mindset, you go to a mindset coach. Like, it's just because it's not so common, right? It's not a common thing that people think of. They think that, like, the way they are, that's just the way they are. That's not the way you are. Like, you can
that is so powerful, brother.
Don't you think so? Yeah.
Yes.
Like, it's not, you can improve on anything. Like, I believe, like, so we understand it a bit deeper. And this is why I wanted to direct this episode, right, around giving people a bit more of an insight into coaching, because like, this is what we help you understand more, right? And we've gotten right in touch with the universe and all that sort of thing. And we understand on that level a bit more how we're all just a soul essence living a human experience, right? Some people, a lot of people don't even understand what that means. Like your body here, like I want to give this body, this human experience that I'm only here for a limited time for, like the best experience it could possibly be. So
exactly.
This body is tangible. Like I can change this. Like I can change this. My mind's the same. Like you can change it, right? So like that excites me that I can, like, it's limitless. It excites me that it's limitless, that you can, the more work you put into it, the better you're going to feel, the more powerful you're going to feel, the better life you're going to live. It's really on you how much work you put into it. And that's why I love mindset so much. And especially like we're both, into the health and wellness a bit as well.
Absolutely.
More so you in that area. But like we've felt it, right? Like that's what we've said now. Like we know how that works. And it's because we've felt so good is why we want to share it with other people. So, so like you said, same thing with that. Like, you want to get stronger or fitter, you're going to go to the gym. Right. So like, but imagine if you understood why that feels so good and you can harness the energy of what you get from training, that it doesn't just feel good because it doesn't just feel good because your muscles are getting bigger. Like it's releasing it's releasing chemicals and it's like, it's improvement. And you know what I mean? Like touch on that a little bit, like, go and give me your sort of perspective a little bit on how you feel like, how do you see that clients that come to us benefit in what we actually do? Like, why would you encourage people now, like to reach out to us and that sort of thing?
Yeah, I think the first thing would be like, we went on this, and I'm going to say personal growth journey just to encompass this whole thing that we're talking about. That's how
I explain it too in myself.
Yeah. So we've been on this for a while now, and we've talked to a lot of different people. We've worked with coaches ourselves, and we have a genuine passion for this stuff. And so really what I see myself as is helping someone else shorten the gap for how long it took me to get here.
I love that.
Because there was a lot of mistakes along the way. There was a lot of lessons I had to learn. There was a lot of coaches that I had to work with and that you had to work with to get to this point. And so we just want to really shorten the gap from where they're at now to really where they want to be. And also to do it in a way that, is fun and exciting and sustainable for the person as well. I think that, we see a lot of different, and I'm just going to speak for myself here. We see a lot of different coaching programs that offer like, oh, I'm going to help you lose 10 pounds in 8 weeks and your whole life's going to change because of this. And a lot of the times these are just like cookie cutter kind of approaches. Right. And they actually aren't personalized to the individual at all. And so I think what you and I both have really learned about is, how do we speak to you as a person? How do I speak to this person who's in my life right now? And we give them that one-on-one. And we also, I think that just being through the experiences that we have gone through before
ourselves.
It's just, there's a level that you can get to, and we want to help people see that and feel that. And so I'm sure when someone hops on an enrollment call with you, like you said, they're buzzing by the end of it, because that's what you bring to the table. And there is no other Aaron Zarb out there. There's no other David Jachetta out there. These are unique people who can provide this opportunity for you. And so that's really what I see it as, for sure.
No, you explained that beautifully, Rob.
I just want to add one more thing too. This is the thing that I think I see you do a lot with, and myself a lot with, is when we bring people in on this personal growth journey, at first it's a little bit scary. It's almost like you're walking into water. And you're like checking if it's warm, if it's cold, it's maybe getting up to your knees. And by the end of it, we want to bring people to diving into their personal growth journey, not just like dipping their toes in. We want you to be cannonballing into this thing, and really to have the trust and the faith in that these things are going to lead you to a healthy, happier lifestyle. And so, you and I really help people build that faith in this process that comes their way.
I love that. And that's why it's so powerful for us. Like, to have that opportunity. And that's what I wanted to touch on, right, too. Like, I love a few things that you said there that stood out. So how common is it? Like, I like using the fitness and weight sort of stuff because it relates a lot, right? So because how often do people, like, they lose, like you said, they might lose 10 pounds or 10 kilos or something, right? And then they put it all back on again just as quick as they lost it, or if not quicker. Like, there's a reason for that, because anyone can move a bit physically, right, and lose some weight. But like, when you start to understand the mind and how that works, a bit more, that's where it comes into play, right? Of like making you stay consistent with that, not just feeling what it is from the physical that you've had. Because I look at the physical as like how we talk about internal and external, like happiness, right? Anything external, like, kind of has an expiry, really, right? In the amount of happiness it's going to bring you. So like, but it still takes consistent work. Like your body, for example, internal, that's on you. You build that yourself, but it's inside you. Like, you know what I mean? So that still takes consistent work too, but it feels amazing. And also it's not measured on external opinions and the way you look from the external, you know what I mean? Because then you'll feel like, I've been there, like, and you've been there too. I know we've both spoke about this, where we're very critical of ourselves and how we look in the mirror and that sort of stuff. Like,
absolutely,
that's a lot of work to be like that all the time, and you're hard on yourself, and because you're not enjoying it though, because you're so critical and hard on yourself, and rather than being proud of what you've actually done with yourself. Working on personal development and all that stuff that's on the inside, that self-love, the growth inside you, working on your peace, all that sort of stuff. I love it because that takes consistent work too, but it basically lasts forever, and it's so contagious, and you're not relying on something external to kind of hold on to it. You know what I mean?
Huge. Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's cool. So I love it. And that's what we try to sort of obviously help people with, right? So, man, I just like it. I just love it because I feel like you attract people through your energy and through your message a bit as well.
I agree.
Like we're different types of coaches. And a big thing I wanted to put out here, in a lot of business and stuff like that, and when people are in the same fields, there can be rivalry, right? With that sort of thing.
I love this.
You know what I love so much about us and coaching for example, I've had this big realization, and we've spoken about this in our calls before. Everyone's a different coach. We're going to resonate with different people. I've got people in my audience that I know from this are going to resonate with you. And I'm going to encourage people that if they are, to reach out to you, right? Because you're going to be able to help certain people in a way that I can't. So, and this is where it comes down to knowing that we're truly here to serve and truly here to help people.
Exactly.
Because I'm not going to help someone that I'm not on the same frequency with, or that I'm not, that I know I'm not resonating with. Like, you know what I mean? We've spoken about this before, and this is where it comes in, like, trusting in the universe and trusting in following your own path and your own alignment. Because if you're trying to just if you're trying to do something, and this just blows out so much stuff, right? Because it's the same thing when you're trying to stay in a job you don't like, even. That's against your own vibration. It's against your, like, where you're meant to be. So you're not going to attract, and you're only going to hit a certain level. You're going to get to a point where you're butting the ceiling. And it's the same thing when you're trying to, do anything that's not aligned for you. So I look at this when I'm taking on clients. Like I say to people before I even speak to them, like through DM messages and whatever, like I want to get them on a call to see if we're aligned to work together. Like,
you have to.
You have to. Yeah. Like, I'm not like, I don't want to work with everybody. I want to work with the people who feel my level, and I can feel a connection in that vibration. And that's why when you get on the phone calls at the end, you're going to feel it if we're meant to work together. Like, you are going to feel it, and I'm not even going to have to say anymore. Like, you're going to feel it from that energy. You might not know what to call that feeling, which a lot of people don't, because you're just starting out. But then that's where we come in after to help you understand it more. So,
dude, I love that so much. And I think that just speaks to, like the level that you're at right now is like understanding that, we can't help everybody in our coaching.
no.
And I think that was a really big realization for me too. And so for me, I went, okay, I know I'm not meant to work with absolutely everybody. Just like you said, some people resonate with the stuff that I do. Other people resonate with what you do. And there's, other people in the world who bring in other people, they can help them in some sort of way. But I went, okay, the people that I can help in my coaching, this is amazing. I can't wait to help these people. But how do I serve the people who are, maybe not interested in my coaching or just in my day to day? And that was really for me, another calling of service. How do you impact the world in a positive way each and every single day? And really the quote that I have right above me right now, it is, be the change that you wish to see in the world. And so at first I was like, okay, this is my coaching. I want to be the change that I wish to see in the world. And I was going to do that through coaching. But then I realized
you can't coach everyone.
You can't coach everyone, but also too, there are so many people out in the world each and every day where you have an opportunity to positively impact them in some sort of way. And so you can either get hung up on, oh, I'm only giving this to the people I coach, or, I want to be the change that I want to see in the world.
And this is
that's
why
really how I show up.
Exactly. Yeah. And this is like this, for example, the podcast, our social media.
Exactly.
That's our platforms where we have more reach. And we know a lot of people just need some guidance. Coaching's not for everyone either. You know what I mean? Like, I know a lot of people get value just from my podcast and from what I put out on social media. And I love that. Like, I love it because I want to hit as many people as possible. But then it's the coaching's just that more intimate, one-on-one, direct,
exactly.
We're going to over deliver for you. And it's almost like the sped up approach. Like it's the fast lane or the fast track almost, because we're just going to just drill this stuff into you. Like, and we're just going to feed you with everything you need, just to push that on a bit more. And what I've found with my clients, like my past clients and stuff like that, it's that accountability that is sometimes the difference that people need. So
you're saying the stuff that's in my head. I don't even understand it.
That's why I love it, man. That's why I love you.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but that's crazy.
Man, interrupt, bro. I mean, my listeners know our podcast, man. Nuts, they're all over the shop. Gamble and I normally, man, we're jumping from one thing to another.
Yeah, I hear you.
Someone hears something and we're like, we're gonna get just go on that, and then something stands out. It's cool, man. No, I love it. But that's what it's all about, man. Like, you know what I mean? So shit.
Well, this like the accountability thing, I think, is the biggest. It's one of the biggest things with coaching, right? Like, if you have somebody who's, holding you accountable to whatever it is you're doing, checking in with you, it is going to be a lot harder for you to fall off track when I got to show up to a meeting with you on Monday morning and say, hey, I didn't do the stuff I was supposed to do. Right. Versus, and this is where it comes back to what I said before with all of these things we learned along the way in our personal growth journey. There were so many times for me where I was like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And 2 weeks later, I was back into my old ways again. But
because it's only you holding yourself to the accountability.
Exactly. And you can sometimes, but sometimes it's just barrels full easier when you have somebody else doing that for you. And so accountability is massive,
man. It's huge, man. And it was big for us. Like, I just wanted to share with people. So like Dave and I had similar paths. We used to party a lot, and a lot of my listeners already know all this. I'm sure you've shared a lot of this on your socials. We've come from backgrounds where we were so caught in, caught up with bad influences and caught up by addictions to things, partying, drinking, and just chasing that next good time, looking forward to the weekend and all
synthetic
that sort of
happiness is what I kind of,
I love that synthetic happiness. So we've been there, and you know what I love so much about it? I love that we were there because so many people are there, and the people who are there now that we're talking to directly, right? you feel like you don't think you can ever get away from it. Like, you know what I mean? And, but we've done it. Like I was deep in it, man. I was so deep in that negative world. And like, I love that I found a way out of it. I found some direction out of it. I found the things that work for me. And so now, you know, how much more can you relate to people, or how much more can you help people with something that you've experienced yourself? Right.
Exactly.
We've been there, and like, we've seen now the light, like, if you want to put it that way, like, and now, and that's what it feels like. It feels like it's our duty now to help other people with that and show other people that direction as well. So like, when I'm speaking like this right now in this podcast, I'm speaking directly to someone. I don't know who it is. It might be that one person. Like, you're right there. What we're saying, Dave and I have been there. Like, you know, reach out to us. Like, you know, like I said, we're only going to work with you guys if, you know, if we're hitting that same frequency, and if we feel like we resonate with you on a level where we really can help you, because we will be honest. Like, we're not going to get to the end of a call with you and be like, you know, yep, we can help you. Like, let's go kind of thing. If we're not feeling it, you're going to feel it. For one, like I said, energy doesn't lie. That's what I love so much about that.
Oh, you know I mean? I love that.
Bro, use the energy. The energy is your answer, right? So like, we should write some of our own quotes out of this. Like, but you know what I mean? So like, the energy is your answer. People are always like, oh, I don't know what I should do with certain things. Just trust your energy. It's connected to your intuition. It's connected to like, it's a feeling. Like, when you're feeling something, there's generally a reason why you're feeling that. Like, you know what I mean? And it gets expressed through things like tingles and jitters and, like, you know, butterflies, that sort of thing. Like, you know, raised body temperature. Like, I'm hot, I'm sweating right now. I was like cool in this room. I was cold when I started. Like, because it gets expressed through you physically. So that's what you've got to listen to. So yeah, so man, like,
I want to touch on one thing that you said though, with our journeys here.
Yep.
I think that there's a stage, and I know you and I have both talked about this. And what I want to talk about right now is, when you're in that lifestyle, it doesn't even have to be partying. I'll speak about partying because that's where I was. I was so deep into it too. You know, it was not good for my mental health. I definitely did not live the healthy lifestyle that I do right now. And there were a lot of things happening in my life, a lot of things with my family, a lot of things going on with other things in my life. But what I had to come to was, I'm grateful for everything that happened in my life that led me to where I'm at today. But a lot of the times people are, why is this happening to me? Like, and there's a lot of tough things that do happen. And I don't want to sound like, you know, we're brushing over how tough those experiences can be. But, you know, when you're caught up in why is this happening to me, it's a tough life. It's a tough, you can't really bring yourself into that high frequency that we're talking about.
That's right.
But as soon as you switch it and go, how did this happen for me? And what have I learned from all these things? You start playing a completely different game now. And 100%. I think that, you know, you and I, like, from our pasts and where we're at today, we're grateful that we went through all those tough times, because it helped us become the people who we are today. And without those, I wouldn't be this dude today. You wouldn't be that dude today. Bro. So yeah.
I like to tell me how you hit this. You just made me, because I always like hearing people talk about the things I feel and resonate with. Gives me different it gives me different perspectives sometimes. So like, I like to, like, life's not supposed to be a struggle, right? But struggle is necessary, because I believe struggle is a part of direction, right? So
wow,
this will get you right. So if you're finding yourself always in struggle, nothing's ever working out for you, like this and that. For one, just that's a whole nother podcast again, because when you connect with, like, and you embody that as well, you attract more of it. Like, nothing ever works out for me, this and that. That's the same thing what we were just talking about before, attracting negative frequencies, right? So first you got to get away from that type of thinking for that reason. But when you're always sitting there in struggle, why do you want to stay there for? Do you know what I mean? It's always struggle. Like, the struggle's there. It's the little hand on you. Like, it's the, you know, it's the shake that you need, or it's the, you know, the poke in the back. Like, you know, what are you doing here? Like, look for something else. Like, you know what I mean? Because you're not supposed to struggle. Like, you're not supposed to live an unhappy, unfulfilled life. Like, that's like the universe isn't cruel. He didn't put you here to live a life of struggle. You know what I mean? Doesn't it make sense?
It's abundant, and that's something that I've had to learn is the world is abundant for everyone. There's positivity, there's happiness, there's love, there's wealth, there's all of this to go around. But we get caught up in, oh, this guy has that, so I don't have this now. But we really need to, you know, I love what you said about struggle there. That little tap on the shoulder that, hey, something's got to change here, because, you know, you're not supposed to, you know, struggle through life like that. I love that. I've never heard
like
that
you learn
before.
from it. So they show up for you to learn lessons with, but then you're not supposed to stay there though. You know what I mean? Like you're just like, that's like self-harm. You say, you know, this is harming you or causing you struggle or pain or whatever, and you're choosing to stay there. Like, it's crazy, right? Like, why would you choose to stay there? You know? So, but I get it though. Because I was stuck in that world for years, and I still would keep doing it because I would have things like drinking and partying to numb it a bit and escape from it, the escapism and all that. But there comes a point that's only going to last for so long. You know what I mean? So like, when you're ready to get out of it, and sometimes you need that push, like, you know what I mean? So, which is where coaching can come in, because it is, you get to a point and people lose direction. They're like, how the hell do I get out of it? Where do I even start?
Where do I start? Yeah, that's a huge one.
This is our message out to people now. So people who are hearing this, like, if you need that hand to start, like reach that hand out. Like, our hands are there waiting to guide you. And like I said, it might not be for our coaching. You know, you're going to get some value out of speaking to us and reaching out, but it might not be through coaching. You might end up just getting involved in our worlds a bit, and, you know, getting involved and just more into the podcast and more into our social
or that
world.
Leads you into something too.
That's
like
right.
I found that too. Yeah,
exactly right. Which is what I love about this, bro. Like, I feel like I know from this, people are going to reach out to you from this. And this is what an intention I'm putting out now, because I know I've got some listeners that, you know, might have been following me for a while now, through my socials and stuff too, that have potentially, you know, not felt the calling for me. They're getting value from me, but then there's like something you've said today has felt them. Guys, like, reach out to him. So, yeah, man, I just wanted to like show you love there, because, man, like, I really, honestly, bro, like, I love you, man, and I appreciate you, like, what you are to me so much. Like, and to have what we have, like I said, from the other side of the world is just nuts.
Dude, you're like a brother to me. Like, I literally, every time we speak, the energy exchange is insane. Like, yeah, man, I can't, nuts. And this is a thing that I want to kind of ask you about, which I think is really cool, is, you know, I completely believe like souls and stuff like that might have had a previous life before.
Yeah, man, I believe that.
And we were together in that life at some point where we were 100%. Brothers. Exactly. And then now that we've reconnected again, and one of the craziest things, this is going to go all the way back to the beginning of this episode, was we met in a coaching course that has probably almost 1,000 people in it. And it's nuts. We started the same week. We live on opposite ends of the world. And for some reason, I felt called that one day to reach out to you and say, hey, man, like, what are you doing? And then we start talking, and it's like, oh, man, like, this is amazing. So, man, you mean so much to me too. And I know that this is just the beginning of our journey here together. So I'm excited.
100%. And I know there's stuff on the cards that we talk about all the time between, like, with Zach and Bryce too. Like, I know there's a calling there for us in the future. So, like, I get excited about that, for us to all work together in some area. So guys, like, get involved in our worlds more. Like, you know, I mean, there's so much to come, like, from us, and we've got so much to give. So yeah, man, we'll start to wrap that up there. But honestly, man, like, put it out there, what your socials and stuff like that, because, man, I want to encourage people that felt a message from you today to reach out to you. So
yeah, so my Instagram is at The Therapy Effect. So that's my coaching business. That's where I run all of the things out of my, you know, in the coaching world. My personal is at David Jachetta. So that's kind of, if you want to get more in touch with my personal life there, but both platforms I use to spread positivity. So I really appreciate that, brother.
No, it's all good, brother. So yeah, guys, like, if you're feeling something from us, guys, like, reach out to us. Like, I really wanted this episode to be all about that, because I know there's people in our audiences, you know, that just haven't felt that yet. And, you know, you're looking for something, you know, you're looking for some direction, you know. So if something that Dave and I have said today, you know, has resonated with you guys, like reach out to us, you know, reach out to both of us or each of us individually, you know, whatever you're feeling, guys, because I really, really want to put that out there, and that's what we're here to help. So,
and don't wait till you're ready. Don't wait till you're ready, because
point.
You will be waiting a long time.
Yeah, man.
Trust me. You got to just take the action and reach out and see what that leads, because whether you start tomorrow or whether that just gets you along in your journey to start moving forwards, start before you're ready.
Love that. Start before you're ready. That's a good way to go out of it, brother. Because when are you ever ready, man? Like, it's the biggest things people get caught up on. I'll do this when this happens, or I'll do this once I've, like, you know, saved a bit more money, or I'll do this when I get a better job, or, you know, it's that never comes. When you're ready, it never comes. Like, and I love this. I'll just quickly wrap it up with this point. This is what I love too. So when you show the universe that you're going to step into something before you feel ready, that's opening up that flow of abundance, because that's what the universe waits for. He doesn't want you to wait till you're comfortable. Stepping out of your comfort zone is your ticket to getting where you want to go. So that's the golden ticket. I love it. I'm telling you, it's the golden ticket, because it's not easy and it's not available for everyone. Like, you have to reach for it, and you have to give something to receive, right? Nothing good comes easy. I love all that, like that area there, because like, show that you're willing, and then you will be presented with where you're meant to be going. Like, you'll be presented with what you need when you show that you're willing to step out of that comfortable space. So
that is beautiful, brother. I love that.
Yeah, man. Thank you, brother. Well, look, man, like I said, I'm so grateful for you, bro. Thank you so much for getting on here with me today. I reckon we're going to give a lot of value to a lot of people with this one. And yeah, man, hope you.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on here, brother. And, you know, it was such a pleasure. I appreciate all the listeners, and I'm just grateful for this opportunity. So again, thanks, brother.
No worries, brother. I'm going to share all this through my socials and everything too. So I'll be posting up, you know, a nice picture of your head on there too on my socials.
I got to go under this thing.
I'll share some cuts from this video, and yeah, man, I'm going to get this out onto Spotify and Apple like within the next like probably half an hour. So I'll get it cut up and up, and I'll tag you in that, brother. And
hey, there we go.
Let's be the change we want to see in the world.
There we go. Let's do it.
Love you, brother. Have a good day.
Love you too, brother.
See you, brother.